Welcome to the Rogers Kakasungura YouTube channel. Big thank you for the support you always grant this platform. Tanzania is still recovering from the deadly post-election violence where thousands of young people were killed, dozens arrested, and hundreds of them currently being charged of treason and other election-related charges. But what is the way forward for Tanzania? Samia Suluhu is a dictator. From how she talks, from how she humiliates the neighbors, from how she addresses people, it is very clear that yes, she is a dictator. But then, for how long will she be a dictator in Tanzania as Tanzania continues to destroy its economy? For a country to prosper economically, it must be stable, free of violence. Violence always scares away investors. Violence always scares away people who still have businesses, especially in a number of towns, because they fear their property being looted. But what has Samia Suluhu done? The Tanzanian Vice President, Emmanuel Nchimbi, because I know Samia Suluhu, as much as she's a woman, she has refused for some days to surrender and allow talks in Tanzania. Why? Because katiba ya Tanzania, once you've been announced as a winner by the electoral body, there is nowhere you are going to challenge the results. So turuke juu, tuiname chini, tuende kando. Suluhu is the president of Tanzania. And of course, there are violent ways to kick her out. But is that a solution to Tanzania? Of course, people can protest until she resigns. But is that a solution to Tanzania? But if it forces, then that will be the solution. The vice president is saying in a statement while speaking in Dar es Salaam, he said, it is President Samia Suluhu Hassan's intention to ensure that we begin a process of reconciliation. After killing a number of young people, after arresting innocent souls, after charging innocent children of treason, Samia Suluhu is now asking for dialogue. The people of Tanzania. Now, how will the dialogue bring life to the families who have lost their loved ones? You know, in Kenya, this is the same question we were asking the late Raila Odinga. Raila Odinga is going for a handshake with William Ruto, but our main concern was, yes, you are going for a handshake, there's no problem. But will the people killed during protests be brought to life? How much money can you compensate the families that is worth the lives lost? Billions of shillings? Trillions of shillings? And as they say, there is no amount of money under the sun that can be equated to life. So Tanzania, Suluhu is surrendering and she is appealing and pleading with the opposition for reconciliation and for a talk. But the question is, how about the families that have lost their loved ones? How about the people who have been charged of treason and some have paid money, bonds and other things? The biggest question that nobody is willing to respond in Tanzania. The vice president continues to say that it is President Samia Suluhu's an intention to ensure that we begin a process of reconciliation so that even the minority can be heard. Building a nation of peace, unity and stability that continues to serve as a model for Africa and the world. This is pure nonsense. The vice president claims that even the minority to be heard. So according to the vice president, those protesting in Tanzania are the minority. If they are the minority, there is a question they have refused to answer to us. If those protesting in Tanzania are the minority, and those who support the Samia Suluhu are the majority, why did she run to be sworn in the forest? If the majority supported her, why couldn't she allow the majority to witness her swearing in? You cannot lie to the people that the majority elected you, yet you are hiding to be sworn in. If you were elected by the majority, you come in the public before the majority, they witness you are swearing in. So, Madam Dictator, why were you running away from the majority during your swearing in day? If at all the majority elected you. I know Samia Suluhu deep down in her heart, she's regretting. That is why she's running up and down. Sikia vile vice president anasema, at the present Samia Suluhu Hassan has asked me to assure you that our country remains safe, stable, and open to visitors from around the world. Instead of Samia Suluhu living in denial, instead of her living in denial, I could wish that she accepts the reality that the revolution is around the corner. Better she accepts that there's a generational shift. Better she accepts that the power she's holding is power that is bestowed by the people. Once she realizes that, she will stop the petty nonsense moves of arresting dissenting opinions and charging them of treason. She focuses now on building a prosperous Tanzania. The threat she is hurling around people cannot help her. It is time she accepts, ajue kwamba yes, the world has changed. There is a generational shift, not only Tanzania, across the world. Gen Zs didn't protest in Tanzania alone. She has history. She knows Kenya, what happened. And very soon, we even catching up with Museveni. How I wish these East African presidents and African presidents at large waketi chini, the first step towards healing is acceptance. Ukipatikana na ugonjwa, the first step to healing, first accept mimi ni mgonjwa. Roho yako ikisha accept from inside, then allow now healing, either through the hospital or any other means that are available. But we hope this one is going to bear fruits. God bless you. See you in the next episode. Asanteni sana.